Oh, thank God for that. Right, neighbour's music stopped, Jenkins. Let's make a video. What are we going to make about? Oh, pass me the hat of video subjects. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Tell Mrs. Tweed you bought another motorcycle. No, that's the hat of penance. The hat of video subjects. That one. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Oh, fiddly fingers. Do a video on the Riley. Right, that's what we'll do. Anyway, Jenkins, you can tell her. Hello, welcome to Tweed's Garage, and in this video we're going to be covering work on the Riley. Yeah, been a while, yeah, quite a while, but stuff has been going on, fiddling has been done, videos have been made, so I've sort of cobbled it all together to show you. So yeah, we've been working on the brakes. Now, I've done a little update, and you saw a little bit of video of me fiddling around with the brakes, and it's all sort of got out of order how long I've been doing it. But anyway, I was trying to get it all ready. The last time you saw it, I was trying to get it all ready to go to the Basingstoke Transport Festival last year. Yeah, we had it again a week ago. It just goes. I don't know where it all goes. Where does time go? Where does it go, Jenkins? I know. Yeah, I think the government take it. Yeah, I think they do. Anyway, so yeah, so there's a little bit of car show footage for you to enjoy, because we all like looking at cars. Not too long, you know, just a little breather. Might stick it in the middle at the beginning, just to be, you know, a little bit on the edge, or maybe at the end. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so and then I'll tell you about the brakes. So I'll tell you about the brakes now. We took it to the show, fine. All went very well. How well did it go, Jenkins? Very well. We actually won a prize. We did. Where is it? Here, look. Nice little trophy. Look at that. We won Best Vehicle in Show 2024. Yeah, see, this is a nice little trophy. You know, in good taste. And yeah, quite a nice thing to have on the shelf. Now, if you're an American, you know, we all know a certain scruffy American.
I pretty much know what's going on the bottom end.
He won a trophy, and it was, you know, it was well deserved. He'd done a lot of work, and it was, his car's really good, and he's done it really well. But yeah, his trophy, man, oh man, they do go over the top, over the pond, don't they? Yeah. So anyway, they gave him his trophy, poor old bugger, and it's so big, he had to put it in a trailer to take it home. I know. I'll see if I can find a bit. We'll put it up here. Yeah, last I heard, it fell on him and he's still trapped under it about 6 months later. Yeah, get well soon, Randall. So, put my trophy down. Yeah, so we had a good show, and we had some people turn up, some YouTubers and subscribers. So we had Jason turn up, Chris turn up, good old Bob turned up, I think a chap called Andy. And if I've forgotten you, I'll apologise. It was a busy day. Yeah, so we had the mayor sit in the car, and when I take the car, I've done it that time, and I've done it this time, and we've done another show. The past two places I've been to, just put a note on the windscreen. If you like to sit in it, just ask. And you know, it's 96 years old. It hasn't been broken yet. I don't think, you know, as long as I climb in and out carefully, it's not going to get damaged. It'll be fine. And people love it. People really like it. I mean, you know, and I know, you go to sort of shows, car shows and that, and they got do not touch, and, you know, they've got things around them so you can't get near them, and all stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, Gladstone's in a condition that, yeah, you know, a few grubby finger marks ain't going to make any difference. So we were busy that day talking to people that come up to visit, you know, who watch the channel, and just people that are interested in the car. We had the mayor come, and he sat in it. We had a chat with him. Yeah, might be something to do with this, because we sort of, you know, we were welcoming and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so it was a good, enjoyable day. Anyway, yeah, I was saying about letting people in. We went again a week ago, put the sign in. We had people in and out of the car all day. I think we were there by the car most of the day with kids going in, adults going in, and all loving it. And then the same with a little meeting. I'll put a little bit up at the end. That was a fantastic meeting that we went to. Yeah, this weekend just gone. So yeah, you know, and it encourages the younger generations to get interested in them because yeah, they're not, you know, the youngsters, they're not interested in cars, let alone old cars. So yeah, any encouragement at an early age is worth doing. Anyway, I'm rambling. Yeah, so we were having problems with the brakes. So I managed to do a little sort of workaround because, you know, when I took it out again, the brake was binding, it was all trouble. So I needed to sort that out so we could use it again. So this is just a little an overview of working underneath it, what we found and what we've done to try and improve it. So here we go. Okay, so you join me in the workshop back on the Riley, and we're going to try and sort these brakes out, hopefully before New Year's Eve, so we can pop out to one of the runs New Year's Day. So I need to jack the back end up, get it on some axle stands, get the wheels off so I can see what's going on, and roll underneath and have a fiddle about. I'll get you down this side, down here, come round with me around this side, but it's a bit tight over that side, so yeah, you'll just have to imagine what's going on over there. Okay, but hopefully you get the general idea. So let's see if we can sort these brakes out from binding. So here's the problem. This is what I've been struggling with. This cam, you can see here, it's not sitting flat. It's sort of tilted upwards slightly, so it's engaging this top shoe, well, and the bottom shoe as well, because it pushes on the back of this heel here on the brake shoe. So I opened them up slightly. So I've backed off the pressure on the handbrake, so the handbrake isn't acting on it, but if you try and push it back, it's not hitting on that adjuster nut there, And this is fairly free to move. You've got this compensator rod between, it's on ball joints. But it's not allowing it to go all the way back home to its home position. And this is what I'm fighting, because as soon as you put any weight, you know, adjustment on these rods, it starts engaging the brakes. You've only got this spring here to pull the shoes back onto the cam and sort of try and line it up. So plan of action is I've got a return spring on the brake pedal. So what I'm going to do is disconnect the brake rod. Handbrake rod's okay, that's sort of slack. But yeah, disconnect the brake operating rod so there's no weight on these operating arms and shafts, and try and get these cams to return to a vertical position, you know, sort of in the home position, and then start putting the stuff back together and just seeing if we can keep it in that position until the brake rods are operated. So after all the fiddling about, I removed my original spring arrangement that I had that was just an emergency to get it working so I could get to the transport festival. Yeah, and I sort of put a beefier spring on, so we just made these just pieces of steel with a hole drilled for the spring, and then this is bolts on to the top of the adjuster nut, and then the other end over here, I think I'll put the light on up there. You can see just bolts on under one of the nuts onto the back axle front housing, and that just gives enough spring pressure to keep that brake cam on the horizontal. It took a bit of fiddling around, but yeah, that sort of works really well. It just keeps the rear brakes balanced enough to keep them off until you actually press the brake pedal. So if you think it's just a problem unique to my car, having read a few articles on Riley brakes, it tends to be more on the cable brakes, the later cars, because there's sort of more of them. They suffer with the same issue, that you have one rear brake always binding on before the other one comes on. You can never quite get them balanced. So yeah, although they run cables, they still run sort of very similar linkages, just an update on this rod brake system. So now we have functioning brakes. Well, sort of. They take a bit of getting used to if you're used to modern stuff. The distance of travel of the pedal is quite alarming. But they do work, and yeah, if you are desperate, just pull the handbrake. It sort of acts a lot quicker than the foot brake does. So after sitting under the car for quite a while, pulling all the linkages and rods and seeing how they sort of work and function, I think I said on an earlier video, I sort of came to the conclusion that the handbrake rod was okay, but the foot brake operating lever was actually too short. And I said I thought I'd shorten the handbrake cable on the Riley, but it wasn't on the Riley. It was actually on, if you go back and have a look in my library, it was my 1927 Chevrolet. I had the same issue where there wasn't enough adjustment on the rods. They were too short. And yeah, I think it just seems to be a thing with these 1920s cars. When they got to a certain period and you couldn't get spare parts for them, or money was tight, you know, and they were just sort of bangers by then, rather than put a new set of shoes in to take up the travel on the rods, they'd just sort of cut half an inch off the end and then put it back on again, and off you go. So I think that was the same issue here. This rod was shorter than it should have been. So what I'd done was, on the Chevrolet, I had in stock the right steel rod diameter to make a new rod, so I just sort of made one, but on this one I didn't. So the way round it was, these universal joints, there's one this end on the back of the brakes, and then this one on the front of the brakes here. They call them a universal joint or a shackle. It's all sort of in the parts book. I decided to make a new one and make the threaded body of it, or this part of the body, slightly longer. so that would get me round it. So chucked up a piece of steel in the lathe and then set to work turning it down to size where it needed it, drilling a hole through it, tapping the thread, and then once that's done, case of moving over to the milling machine, then mill the flats on the side and on the top. And with that done, with a slitting saw, use that to cut the slot in the middle. I made that one 1/4 of an inch longer than the original, popped it all back together, and that all works. It gave me adjustment and got us back into the ballpark of, you know, how the car was when it left the factory, because all the shoes have been replaced, so it's got all new shoe material on, so it should be, you know, where it was roughly when it was new-ish. So yeah, that works okay. Could have done, I might make another one, but rather than 1/4 of an inch longer, make it 1/2 an inch longer, and I think that would just give me enough extra length on it to allow this compensator bar to sit parallel to the axle that it is at the moment. So with the back brakes sorted, I moved to the front brakes. They were sort of working okay, but I think things could be made a little bit better. And we've got these, what they call a front brake joint here. I've remade these. These are new ones. I had to make them because they were worn in these operating arms here, and they're I turned them up. They're slightly different sizes to take up the play, which is fine. So sort of drilling them out and rebushing them. Yeah, but that all works perfectly well. The only thing I wasn't happy with these long operating brake rods, where they come through this joint, it was just a slightly larger hole, and the trouble is the rods run from the outside of the, you know, the chassis here towards the centre of the gearbox down there, so they run at an angle. They're not parallel with the chassis, but this was a sort of, you know, 90-degree angle, and every time you operate the brakes, even with a sort of elongated hole in here where you've got a washer and a nut backing on here, you know, that's forcing, it's always bending the rod. The rod's always bending, and when you take these out, you find that the actual threaded part of the rod's sort of bent, you know, where it's been pulled round at an angle. So wasn't the best situation, but I thought we could improve it. So what I'd done was had a look at the rods. So from above you can see, if you take the engine as the sort of straight edge that the centre line of the car follows, you can see the angle that the brake rod runs through at. So measured this angle, and then that was the angle I used to machine the joints on the front. Took them to the milling machine and then milled off the front faces of the joint to the corresponding angle of the rods, so that when the rods came through at that angle, they would sit nice and square on the bearing face on the outside. And what I also done was, with the joints mounted in the vise at an angle on angle blocks, I then ran a milling cutter down the same diameter of the hole on this side and run it down through the joint, which meant that it was still round and circular on the outside bearing face, but as it ran through, it became a sort of oval hole. Allows the rod to go through the joint without interference when it's sitting in its off position or sitting in its on position. As you see, that moves nicely through there and doesn't interact with the side of the rod too much. So when you pull the brakes on, it's not bending this rod against this joint. So a lot of fiddling about, a lot of adjustment, trying to work out how the rod breaks. It's still a bit of a confusion when you look at everything and sort of how it all operates, but it sort of works. And I've got brakes on all 4 wheels now, which is sort of a miracle, because when I picked it up and drove it home, it was only the rear brakes that were ever working. I don't think the front brakes hadn't worked for a long time. They were all rigged up incorrectly. So yeah, gradually improving. So we'll have a little intermission now. This is last year's Basingstoke Transport Festival. Beautiful weather, great turnout of cars, and yeah, so I just ran round with a camera when I had 5 minutes and just sort of grabbed a bit of footage for you. So here you go, enjoy. yeah, so there you go, brakes much improved, unlike my gear change. Yeah, hopefully that'll get better with practice. Yeah, and I think also the brakes will get a lot better. Now it's working on all 4 wheels, which it wasn't when I first got the car. It's got new shoes all the way round and they haven't bedded in yet. So I think get a few miles under his belt, they'll bed in a bit more and be able to adjust the brakes in a little bit more. And I think things will get a lot better. Yeah, well, you know, as better as rod brakes can be. Yeah, so that's good. So we've been out and about. Where did we go? We went to sort of the departure lounge, which is sort of a place near us that has a car boot in the morning. I think the last Sunday of the month during the summer they have a little car meeting afterwards. So we popped along to that, and we were the oldest car there. Unfortunately, you go to these things, if you go in a sort of pre-war car, you're about the only one there. Anyway, you know, treated Mrs. Tweed to a nice burger and a coffee. Yeah, and then we sort of come home. So that was that. Made that there and back, no problem. So then we had this year's Basingstoke Transport Festival, and yeah, the vehicle of the show last year, yeah, decided to fail to proceed in the queue on the way in, going up a hill. Yes, so we were stuck on a hill with the engine not starting, and me getting very flustered because the trouble is the road's not that wide there, and all the vehicles going into the show were, you know, having to go past me to get in, and I suspected the carburetor or fueling, so I'm on the road side looking, you know, looking in sort of thing. But it was getting a little bit fraught. I would have found it in the end and got all my tools out and stuff, but yeah, it was a bit of a pain. And then a sort of yeah, hero, Arthur, yeah, that wasn't him. Arthur, yeah, a very nice gentleman with a van, stopped in front, said, did I need a hand? And then he offered me a tow, and I said, well, that'd be great. So he towed me in, and we showed our tickets to the people, and they let us tow the car all the way to where it was meant to be in the showground. So thank you, Arthur, if you're watching, you're a diamond. He offered to take us home as well if it's couldn't get it fixed. But yeah, once in the showground, all nice and calm, went into it. Yeah, and it was that, yeah, that nemesis again. Yeah, the main jet had fallen out yet again. So those that don't know, it's got a Zenith, one of these bronze Zenith carburetors on, and the jets are in these little chambers here, one there, and what happens is the jet winds its way out and then just drops into the bottom of these chambers. Yeah, so when you take this cap off, you find the jet in your hand, you know what the problem is. Put it back in really tight last time because you guys were telling me about making a little, you know, getting a jet key. I made a jet key so I can tighten them up. So that's how I got it back up and running to get home from the show this time. But yeah, you do them really tight and they still rattle out. So what I have done since then is put a little spring under the jet. Hang on, let me show you on this one. See if I can get it undone. Oh yeah, it's loose anyway. So there's the jet there. So what I've done was found a spring that fits over the square section that you tighten up, and then put the cap on like that, and then do it up, and you can feel the spring just starting to put a bit of tension on that jet in there, so that if it does come loose, it's not hopefully going to rattle all the way out. So at least you'll sort of keep moving, you know, and won't break down. So that's that. But when I was at the show looking at the carburetor, I noticed the manifold that I had repaired. I TIG welded it up because it's had some cracks in it, and as Simon from New Zealand found, yeah, they're made from real crap aluminium, or they've got so much carbon in them from the years of running, they just keep exploding in your face and sort of melting and all falling in. So I managed to hold it together, and where the cracks appear is sort of in the casting line where the two casting pieces come together. And looking at that, I could see there was tiny little pinholes with little black, you know, liquid marks where obviously fuel vapor and that was sort of coming back out through. So we've given the Zenith a go. We've done a little bit of tuning on it. We've sort of made a thinner butterfly for it because the original butterfly is absolutely massive. Look at, I don't know if you can see that. Look, it's like a pound coin in there. And then you've got this bit as well. Hang on, let's get a torch. There you go. See, massive butterfly. If we open it up, shine the torch in there. Can you see? Yeah, it's like a fist in there. So when it's fully open, it's sort of only about 3/4 open. Anyway, so we tried that, and yeah, it's all right. And I was talking to a couple of other people with Rileys at a recent event, and that event I said about ditching the Zenith and replacing it with SUs, and they all said, yeah, do it, you know, sort of it'll much improve the performance, you know. And I was saying, when I get to junctions occasionally it just dies, and then you have to start it again, and it said, yeah, it'll get rid of all that. Like, you know, the Zeniths are, yeah, they're a pain, and they're old, sort of thing. So I managed to pick up set of twin SUs with a manifold. Ooh, yeah. So we'll be putting these on. So I'm going to see a chap, Malcolm, have a little rummage through his bits and bobs, and see if I can find all the linkages I need to complete the fitting of these to Gladstone. So that'll be another video. Right, let's put them away. So yeah, another job to do. And then weekend just gone, we went to a very nice little event done at a sort of local pub not far away. They just organised pre-war cars just to drive along, park in a field behind the restaurant, and you know, then you could go and have a treat with Mrs. Tweed to another burger and posh fries and all that. I know, I'll just spoil her. She's a lucky woman, I'll tell you. Yeah. Anyway, we went there, and I've done a little video there because fantastic cars. If you're into your 1920s, 30s cars, there was over 40 cars there. Quite a lot of Rileys, very nice Alfa Romeo, a very nice Lagonda, and a very nice Morgan. Yeah, could have taken quite a few home. So yeah, that's this.
I'm going to say what? Yeah, it's beautiful. The sleeve. So that's a heavy 12, that marine code car, that's actually different. So that's a slightly later on in the car. Nowadays you have to have a...
going with the others.
Oh, well, let's,
Just looking at the others.
All right, don't spill the water again. There's the water. That's it.
put them on video so they'll be on
Come on, then.
YouTube fame.
Put the box
How
back.
old are these?
A few weeks.
Oh, right.
Chinese. White Chinese. Could be blue Chinese, but I think they're going to be white. And this was a dragon's kennedy.
I've no idea. It says 29,000.
So there you go. What's not to like? Work done on O'Reilly, stuff done, progress made. Yeah, he's sort of been quite reliable. Well, apart from the breakdown, but starting on the button from been sitting for weeks, getting really good. Yeah, I mean, sort of normally when it's been sat around for a few weeks or a month, you normally have to sort of flood the carburetor and crank him over quite a while before it'll catch. And then when he's running, it's fine. But yeah, the past 3 events, you know, I think one morning was really cold and turned the fuel on, turned the magneto on, pushed the button, choke out, boom, off he went. Brilliant. What more could you want? Well, not breaking down would be nice. So yeah, hopefully SUs will cure that. So yeah, so that'll be on an up and coming video. If you liked the video, give us a little like and hit subscribe because you'll see more videos. If you're new to the channel, hello to all my old ones. Welcome aboard again. Nice to see you. And yeah, I think that's it. That'll do, won't it? Yeah, don't think there's anything else. Anything else, Jenkins? No? Sherbet found it. No, you can have that later. Yeah, anyway, there you go. All right, see you later. Bye. Oh God, it's all gone wrong. I've got to pick all these pieces up now for effect. Comedy effect. So yeah, I forgot my trophy. Now, when you last left it, cars. It's like Piccadilly Circus out there. Hello, welcome to Tweed's Garage.